My name is Hannah Plank, and I am here to talk to you guys today about ADHD. Its basics, what it is, how we deal with students that have ADHD here in the schools. So, first off, what is it? Well, it's an individual has a chronic or a serious inattentiveness or hyperactivity and or impulsivity that is more severe and occurs more frequently than in peers. So what it is, a lot of times people think, oh, they're just bouncing off the walls and they can't focus at all. That's not entirely true. It's an inability to regulate their attention. So what you'll find is sometimes they like hyper focus on some things. They're super like almost obsessive about some things that everything else gets neglected. Okay? That's why the stereotype kind of started that way, but that's not the entire picture. There are three types. The predominantly inattentive type, okay, those are the ones that people might say, oh, they're daydreamers. They're kind of off in la la land. They forget stuff, they forget steps, they're losing things all the time. That's those. The predominantly hyperactive or impulsive type, those are the ones that kind of fit the stereotype. They're just physically moving more, they're fidgety, they squirm, tap, they blurt out answers, they kind of just do without thinking. And then there's the third one, which is combined, which has a little bit of both. Other characteristics that kids with ADHD have, they have issues with working memory, how they remember things. They don't have very good self-directed speech that you would use to manage tasks. They have trouble controlling their emotions, so like talking yourself down, getting yourself, chill. And then reconstitution, so taking things you already know and applying it to other areas or kind of repackaging it in your mind to be able to use somewhere else. If you think of your brain like a bunch of file folders, it's taking one folder and being able to put it in another place and it still work. So what's that mean for us in the schools? Well, interventions for behavior in the classroom emphasize structure and rewards. Okay, structure. They're clearly defined what we're doing, what's expected, and then rewards, praise, a sticker system, something. Praise the tiniest things, the tiniest little victories. Praise it. Okay, out loud. Let them know that they're doing it right. Also, if they're having an off day, is it something wrong? Are they hungry? Are they tired? Are they getting sick? Do they need to change a seating? Okay. Do they need a fidget tool? If there are mistakes, do clear, calm corrections and in a one-on-one feedback way. Maybe have some sort of a signal set up to help them recognize when their behavior's crossing that line. Okay. Talk to them about self-awareness. So ask them why they think this is happening, what the problem is on their point of view, so they can start to see for themselves some of these behavior issues and how to fix it themselves, which will be helpful when they get older. Provide opportunities for students to see them in a positive light. So this can be figuring out what they're good at and finding ways for them to kind of show that off to their classmates. This may be giving them a special job, making them the paper passer or the errand runner or different things like that, which will come into play later. But it gives them some sense of pride and also helps the other students socially see that, they've got good traits too. When it comes to parents, okay, make sure it's a team. You guys are working together. You're training together on how to handle behaviors. If there's a discipline system, make sure it's the same at home for consistency, both rewards and consequences. Give them tips for managing with their friends at school and at home. And especially students in high school, make sure the parents know that their kids have rights that they can use after high school, that they'll need after high school. Most importantly, those families are just as stressed as we are, okay? So don't blame them, but also if there's something that needs corrected, don't condone it. It's kind of a tricky balance there. A lot of it in the news, highly publicized about medicinal interventions. Teachers, you cannot say that a student needs medication. We are not doctors. We cannot say that. Our role is more indirect. We just monitor for any health-related issues that may come up, but that's it. Okay, that is our only stance. Medicines for ADHD are best used when they're combined with other interventions. You can't rely on them solely, okay? There's a lot of problems. If a kid misses a dose, whoa boy, hold on tight. And also, it takes a lot of hard work and stress to even find the correct dosage, okay? So these are just things for you to know. As far as academic, when you're giving instruction, keep it short and sweet. Stick to only the essential things. Do it in a clear sequence. This first, this second, this third, okay? Big assignments or big reading passages, break them up into smaller bits, okay? That way they can have breaks in between, to go get a drink, to go do something else, and come back to it. Allow them more time to finish for these breaks, for getting back in focus, okay? Keep the lectures fun and perky and hands-on, okay? Give them lesson plans and structure that minimizes interruptions, okay? I know we can't account for all interruptions. We can't control the PA system. We can't control fire drills. But if we can have instruction that has fewer starts and stops and starts and stops, don't start something right before they go to music class, okay? You'll lose them. And also making sure that they know that you know everything that goes on in the classroom, okay? Increasing teacher awareness, so they don't try and get away with stuff, because they will. The next thing is environmental. So as far as your classroom environment, you got to minimize distractions and clutter. No things hanging down from the ceiling. If it's blowing in the air conditioning, that's enough of a distraction. Put them toward the front of the classroom so they don't know everything's going on behind them. These sticky notes here, okay, those would not work. I got to get rid of those. They also have something called a desk corral, which is like a three-sided cardboard cubicle that keeps them in their own little space and blocks out a lot of the things around them. Again, clear routine, clear procedures. You may even post them big and bright. If there are going to be things that are special and out of the ordinary, like assemblies or field trips or things like that, assign a buddy to help them. And you also might discreetly let the student know, hey, this is coming up, it's different, just a heads up. When it comes to seating, put them next to positive role models, okay? Ones that are a good influence rather than the ones that would not be a good influence, and we all know about those. You might use a timer or an alarm to help with time management, okay? Some other ideas, providing breaks. We mentioned that before, and giving the student opportunities for physical activities. So those are where those special jobs can come in, okay? Oh, good, you finished that section, come take this down to the office for me, or pass these papers out. Those are ways that they can do their job and get some of the energy out too. Never, ever take away recess as a punishment. Never ever. You will regret it. It will be a really rough rest of the day if you do. Okay, they need that. They need that outlet to get the energy out. Um, Use a tablet or a computer for the work. If it's got a screen, it's going to keep them engaged. It just works. So use that to your advantage. Provide tools for organization. That's color-coded folders and things like that. Ignore minor behavior. This is where the pick your battles comes into play. Yes, the tapping will drive you up the wall, but it's a lot better than what it could be. Okay, there are a lot of things that could make it worse. That's not a battle to pick. Okay. Allow them to move or fidget in a non-distractive manner. So maybe those wobble seats that they have, or the ones that are like the exercise balls. That way they can get some bouncing out and it's not bothering anybody else. Okay? There's something called a speaking stick. I think this is a great idea even for everybody, not just the ADHD kids, because it lets everybody learn about not interrupting. It's their turn to talk. It is no one else's turn to talk. Kids who are maybe more shy, it lets them have the opportunity to have a voice where they wouldn't normally. So the speaking stick is a great tool for anything. So those are just the basics. It's a pretty broad topic. I found the information through the CHAD website, which is the Children and Adults with ADHD. It's the advocacy group for that, and also for the out of the textbooks. So if you've got any other questions, I will open that up for this time. But otherwise, thank you.